Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. I'm coming to you live from Beachburg, Ontario. My name is Sherry Coswin. I'm a leader with Epicure, and I've been with Epicure for a number of years now, almost 4 years, coming up on my fourth year. And I just love Epicure. I love coming to you and folks like you live from my kitchen and sharing the good food mission. I love showing really quick, easy meal solutions. And I love doing meal prep. Meal prep is something that I love, saving time, saving, money, and enjoying. It's the weekend, enjoying the weekend. So that's what I'm doing tonight. It's actually 8 p.m. here. I'm on Eastern time zone. And though we're having a late pizza dinner, I'm actually going to do tomorrow's lunch, which might be a little bit of my pizza dinner tonight too, because it just sounds so good and I might have to try it, because why not? When you're cooking, you gotta have a taste. So I'm taking this out of the 30-day collection for April. This is an amazing collection, guys. I just absolutely love our monthly collections. Every month I say this is the best one yet. And honestly, I think this might be one of the best ones yet. The recipes are so family friendly. It's a great deal. You get the collection with all the seasonings and spices and everything for that meal plan, with a bonus of 6 bonus meal solutions. So you're actually getting a really great deal. 6 meal solutions in Canada is, roughly $22. In US, it is about $20, I want to say. They're about $1 difference each. So, that's a fantastic deal. They're right there is saving you money. Plus, it's saving you time and energy having to think about what to cook for dinner, because we all face that, let's face it. Even an Epicure consultant like myself still has to say what's for dinner, because we have 21 meals a week. We eat 7 days a week, 3 meals a day most often. Some of us don't, but most of us do. And it's really hard and time consuming to think about what we're having. And I don't know about you, but I love the fact that I can just turn that part of my brain off and get cooking. So I really love these meal plans. This is also an amazing, if you guys are here as a host, or maybe you're thinking about hosting, this is a really great half price item. Just imagine how much, food you get, or how much product you get for a half price item, and 30 days worth of meals out of it for a half price. That would be amazing. So we're going to get cooking in just a moment. I want to thank you all for being here and supporting the consultant who invited you. It is just so rewarding to see all of you connecting. I love the Epicure community, and I love all this sharing. That's why we do this group class, is to support our teams, Tracy Castor and myself, as well as to support our customers and our hosts. And it's kind of one big happy Epicure family. Tracy and I joke often that we are a blended organization, like a blended family, because we're 2 leaders that aren't connected, but we work together. It's just how our organization works. We just love partnering. So let's get cooking. I think I can get this dinner, or this tomorrow's lunch, cooked in under 10 minutes. I'm going to see if I can do it. I'm going to do a little bit of a shortcut, see if that helps. This recipe is actually originally supposed to be cooked in our wok, though I know the wok is out of stock for some of us. I think it's out of stock in both countries, but I know it's for sure out of stock in Canada. And so I didn't want to use the wok tonight. I wanted to show you, if you didn't have a wok, another way that you could cook this. So you guys, if you saw the video earlier today about microwave cooking, you've probably already met this guy. This is a purple people feeder. It's one of my favorite things to use in the kitchen. It is also an amazing asset when you're talking time-saving devices. This is our multi-purpose steamer. And in it, I've already got some ground pork. Now, this is about 3/4 of the way thawed. And what I want to do is I want to pop that in the microwave, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in a moment. But I'm going to pop it in the microwave just so I can get to the point that I can crumble it, because we're going to be cooking it. So, and I need it to crumble to add the spices. So, in the microwave, now your microwave might be different than mine, but I'm going to put it in for about 1.5 minutes. Maybe we'll say 1:40. And that should do it to get it thawed enough that I can crumble it up with my ground meat separator. Now, every multi-purpose steamer comes with this gadget here. This is a great tray, and I use it for layered cooking. I use it for dividing. I have a picky eater, so if I want to divide flavors, I flip over that tray. I can, when I'm doing my picky eater cooking for fajitas, we put the chicken on top for her. The rest of us have our chicken and peppers and onions because she doesn't like those things to touch her chicken, so that's totally fine. Cooperative cooking here. You can also put veggie chips in here. I also use this as a lid for rice and quinoa, all kinds of things. This is sort of like one of those go-go gadget tools that you just never knew you needed. So comes free in every multi-purpose steamer, which also, by the way, guys, if you have your eye on that, talk to the consultant who invited you, because it is also a great thing to get with your host rewards. So while the meat is started, I want to talk a little bit about what we're making. So it's called ground beef pita pizzas. And this is new. This is like, you guys are real time learning with Sherry. I've never made this before. That's how easy Epicure is. I trust the recipe so much that I know I can do this. I believe it because Epicure's tested them out for us, and we know the times are going to be approximate. So I've got a couple of things already prepped just to save a little bit of time. You guys know how to chop up cucumbers, so I'm going to need those for later when I'm dressing up my pizza. And this is kind of like a meal that I know I can prep ahead, reheat the meat, and have this tomorrow as lunch, and I don't have to think about it. So microwave's beeping. I'm going to crumble that up. I'm going to make sure I got my ground meat separator handy. Oh, and I popped my lid off. Sometimes, and this is a really good tip, guys, sometimes when you're grabbing it, you might bump your microwave door and pop the lid off. That's totally okay. And I know I had my ground meat separator handy. And I mean, just a couple of minutes in the microwave. Right, if I pulled it right out of my freezer, I would have been doing this as well. Though this sat on the counter for about an hour or so before. So you can see all diced up, or all chopped up. So now with the 30-day meals, but also if you're looking at those meal kits that we talked about, Greek dressing, part of the Greek kit as well. That's what we're going to be using tonight as our seasoning, but I've got a little surprise of something I'm actually adding on there. So you hosts that are here, pay attention because you're going to like the host special the way I'm using it tonight as well. So Greek dressing, and I also need tomato paste, which to me, that didn't strike me as something Greek, but I totally understand where they're going with it. So we need, normally you would put in water, because I'm doing this in the steamer, I'm omitting the water. I don't need it because the steam is going to stay in there and it's not going to dry the meat out. So I am going to need, I'm just following the recipe here. I need 1 tablespoon of the Greek dressing. Have you guys met this? This is my favorite spoon in my kitchen. This is the 4-in-1 spice spoon. And I kid you not, I used to swear at all of my seasoning, all of my measuring spoons, because they would get caught in my cupboards all the time. Hated it. Tablespoon going in the meat here. I'm using ground pork, but the recipe does call for ground beef. But they used to open the drawer and get stuck in the drawer because they were on those rings, or I would lose one. Never again. 4 spoons in one. You got a tablespoon that I just used, teaspoon at the other end, turn it over, 1/2 teaspoon, and there's a marker for a 1/4 teaspoon. That's it. I actually have 3 of them because I love them that much. 1 for when we're on the go, and 1 for wet and 1 for dry when I'm cooking. So now I need tomato paste. So I need a tablespoon of tomato paste in there as well. I love that they're nice and small. They fit in these small jars and small cans. I just use my saute spoon and scrape that out a little bit. You could eyeball that too if you really wanted to. I'm not too worried about it. And then just mash it all together because it is going to cook together in the steamer. Yes, I'm cooking ground beef or ground pork in my steamer. I love this ground meat separator, guys. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. It is one of my favorite tools that I also didn't know I needed. But yes, cooking meat in your steamer, it's revolutionary. I don't need any water. I don't need anything other than just the meat. There's already water in the meat. And I'm going to guesstimate on this. So I'm going to put it on for about 4 minutes. We'll check it. Usually it's about 4 minutes to cook, but I did add tomato paste. So I want to just be sure. And that's a pound of ground pork. So let's talk about this guy for a second. It's a little dirty, but it is nice, wide separated dividers in the ground meat separator, which I love. Because as you saw, I was able to divide it with my saute spoon. I'm going to give both of those a rinse because I will need them again in a minute. My husband pointed out also that shape reminds them of a lawn dart. If you're from my generation, they don't make those quite the same anymore, but we think that's really funny, so we refer to it as the lawn dart. My kids call it the juice mixer upper. There are so many uses for it. My daughter uses it all the time for mixing juices, those frozen concentrated juices. We just use it for so many things. Chopping up your avocados, your scrambled eggs, your hard-boiled eggs, you name it. So let's get cooking on to some other things. I already have the cucumbers done. So I'm going to make some, what else in Greek, you always have onions, right? So I'm going to make the onions next. And here's another gadget I love. The mandolin, it's a 4-in-1, comes with 4 blade attachments. I've got the straight blade on right now. That's the safest way to store it. I love how sleek it is. It just fits in the cupboards nicely. And I've got this great red onion that I left the root on. This is my trick because you always have an end that you cut off anyways. And that way when I'm doing, the onions, I just throw away the end I'm going to throw away anyways. So I don't need very many of these, so I'm not using the handguard right away, but I do encourage you to use the handguard if you're not comfortable or if you're getting close to the blade. I'm not going to do this whole onion. I don't need that much onion ahead. But it was just as slick as that. Like, look at these great onion rings. Imagine for burger season coming up, you can slice up your onions and your tomatoes really super slick that way. So then I'm just going to cut the rings into quarters and pop them into, and this has already been showing you, a prep bowl. So we're going to, like I said, have this for lunch tomorrow. And I'm storing these into the prep bowls. They are great. You've probably seen similar to this before, but I love the silicone lids. Let's face it, I had other ones and I don't have the lids. The lids are all gone. The prep bowls were fine, but I love the silicone lids. They're great for all kinds of things. I also love that they're airtight seal and stackable. Guys, hosts, pay attention. Also, like, if you're thinking about that this business might be for you, Business Kit has it in it as well. So that's the onions. I'm going to need those for topping. And one more topping and one more sauce for the pizza. So what would our sauce be? We'll get to that in a moment. But I have this great tomato. And I don't know if you've seen these before, but I'm using one of our cutting mats. That also comes in our business kit. But I use them so often. I have a couple sets because they're so handy, especially if you travel at all. I love being able to just kind of pack them in my suitcase. I also love when I'm using them for these tasks, this tomato task. And I'll show you in a moment why I love it. When you chop up your tomatoes, they make a mess, right? Like, they're usually like leaving seeds and juice all over your cutting mat. And then you've got to try to transfer them awkwardly into a bowl. Well, guys, this is what I love these for. Hopefully you can see my counter. It's a little cramped on this side of my kitchen. Go with the, there you go. I think you can see it there. Fold it so that it's nice and curved. You can see a U shape. And then dump all the juices and the tomatoes right into the prep bowl. Handy as can be. They come in a set of 4, so you get 2 small, 2 big. Purple and gray, I love them. They're Epicure colors. So that's it. Tomatoes are cut. Now, what was I using to cut it? This amazing chef knife. This is so sharp. It's a ceramic blade. It's also bull-nosed, so that you can see I can push that right into my hand. It's not sharp on the very tip. I love that for precision slicing. You can kind of rock the blade. I use this knife for everything with the exception of really heavy vegetables. I don't recommend that. The reason being is it's ceramic, guys. It's breakable. So a turnip or a really heavy cabbage, I would stick with your steel knives. But slicing up things like meats and your tomatoes and your avocado, whatever you want, it's great for that. Now, you heard the microwave beep. So I'm used to handling this without oven mitts. Guys, don't be afraid. You can put your gloves on. It is quite hot. I'm going to turn these steam vents away. There are 3 great steam vents on here. I always have them away from the handles to protect my hands. But watch this steamy goodness. Like, whew, up it goes. All right, so let's give this a little bit of a mix in. I think it could use another maybe minute. There's a little bit of liquid in there still that I'm not entirely sure says it's fully cooked, so I'm going to put it on for 1 more minute, but that gives me the chance to mix in the seasonings a little bit more. And I can smell that amazing Greek flavor already. It just smells delicious. But that's okay, because we have one more task to do before we prepare, actually 2 quick tasks, before we prepare our pizza. You can see it's almost cooked. I'm just going to be really sure about that. Again, those vents, you can see on the lid, there's some vents there. Put that away from the handles. Just protect your fingers from that really hot steam. Steam powers up a locomotive, so we know it's going to come out of there with some force. And you want to keep that away from your fingers. So let's say another 1:20. Oops. Pressing start would help. All right, so now we need a sauce for our pizza. So I've already pre-measured out 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt. And we've got to go back to the Greek dressing. The recipe says a teaspoon. Just want to verify I read that right. Yep, 1 teaspoon. So again, the other end of that amazing spoon that I love. Grab a teaspoon of it. And here's where I'm getting fancy, guys. I love our toppers, our host special for this month. I'm going to show you the bowl in a second, but a host special for this month is 2 amazing toppers. Garlicky dill, which is my personal favorite. I mean, who doesn't love the combination of dill and garlic? And then this sweet and smoky topper, which, I mean, put it in your rice, put it in your quinoa, put it on your eggs, put it on anything. It's just so good. But those toppers, I'm actually going to use both of them tonight. First, though, I want to put a little garlicky dill in with that Greek dressing, because I just think that would be good. I didn't measure it. Let's face it, guys. I'm a recipe rebel. I just throw it in. This is another one of my happy gadgets in my kitchen. I use it so much. 3-in-1 spatula. You can see it's got a nice little curved edge, which is perfect for scooping out of the mayonnaise jars. Also love it for mixing. And it's a great spatula. It's also a really great scoop for when you're using it for scooping out of your dips to spread. It is just super handy. So a little bit of Greek yogurt, some Greek dressing. I threw in the bonus for our host special, the garlicky dill. Meat's done. One more task. I want to introduce you to my new steamer friend. We'll put this here for a second, and I will grab our round steamer. This is the kind of kid brother to the multi-purpose steamer. All sorts of really great uses for it. Also got some great steam vents. I find this is really great for soups and stews, and definitely fits a rotisserie chicken a little bit easier. Here's what I like to use it for, though. You know how you like your pitas warmed? Well, guys, and then you get them to the table and you're like, oh gosh, they cooled off. Same with your tortillas. Use this. Pancakes, want to keep your pancakes hot? Use this. So just put the lid on. The lid does seal a little bit tighter, I find, than the multi-purpose steamer, and that's for good reason. We're using it for soups and stews, and we want it to stay on. So I'm just going to put that in for about, I'm going to say 45 seconds. But all we have to do now is assemble it. So dinner, we're like 8:18. I talked for probably the first 3 or 4 minutes getting us set up. 15 minutes and dinner's really done. Remember I said there was a bowl I wanted to talk to you about that goes with the host special, and I splattered a little bit of tomato sauce. This is our 4-cup prep bowl. It's kind of like the new brother, the adopted brother to our collection of 4 prep bowls. These are the 1 cups that come in a set of 4. But the 4-cup prep bowl is fantastic. Same kind of silicone lid. I like it for salads, for all kinds of things. It's part of our host special this month. Tonight, it's Saturday, guys. It's time to have a glass of wine or something. I'm not sure. So I am going to dump this right into that bowl because I'm going to want to use it for tomorrow. And I love, you guys seeing this? Just fold it. Pour that right into the bowl. So I've already got lunch made for tomorrow, though I kid you not. Probably going to have the one that I make just because it smells so good and I want to try it. But I mean, just using our prep bowls and collections, we've got some really great meals going on, and this recipe comes right out of the April special. So hang on for a minute. I'm going to grab a plate, put this together so you can see the finished product. I'm going to grab a lunch plate. We'll behave. This is super soft, nice and warm. Grab the dressing. You just kind of layer it up. It's kind of like a Greek salad pizza. So a little bit of dressing or yogurt onto that pita. Then I want a little bit of the ground meat, which I've used pork, but I'm sure you could use anything. The recipe calls for beef. You could use turkey. You could omit it entirely if you just want to go vegetarian. You could use lentils, anything you want here. So a little bit of meat on here. And some tomatoes. Remember, we chopped those up. Really great to store in your prep bowls. Sprinkle those on. And I love these kind of meals too for my kids because I do have a picky eater. So if I leave it up to them to choose what toppings go on, they're going to be happier. A few cucumbers on there. I'm going to go light on the cucumbers. I like them. They don't like me. And then a little bit of feta cheese. I got the crumbled variety here. I'm going to have to rinse my hand off. I don't know why I always grab but with my fingers, but that's just something maybe I'm Italian, I don't know. You have to grab and drop it, right? All right, and then I said sweet and smoky toppers going on there too, because why not? This one I don't have a shaker lid on. That's okay, a little bit of a shake on top. We got that little sweet and smoky. Dinner's done, 20 minutes since I went live, and I talk a lot. That's it, guys. Super simple, looks delicious. I'm gonna dig in. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you reach back to your consultant who invited you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the comments. Talk to your consultant about the host special if you're liking those garlicky dill and the sweet and smoky topper and that 4-cup prep bowl that we're loving for storing our meat for tomorrow. All kinds of great things going on for April. The 30-day special is great. The vault list is out. Those are our season that we're kind of saying goodbye to our season products for this season. A new season is coming. There's some discontinued items, so definitely have some conversations with the consultant who invited you because there's all kinds of things going on in April, as well as it's spring here in Canada, and we're happy to be out and about, so I'm loving the time-saving meals. So have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Take care. Make whatever you're doing epic.